Oh no. We got rid of the suicide hotline? What?
How come you're not in this thing? Oh,
Because your mic. Oh no. Can you lower your mic?
not my mic.
Whose mic got rid of this? What's the blue tip? What?
You're not in
That is your mic. Because
You
your
know what?
mic.
This is gonna be late
Where your
on
mic
YouTube.
is.
Not my mic.
Whose mic got rid of this? What's the blue tip? What?
And that's the news headlines, and this is Cut to the Chase. My name is Sylvester Rivers, aka Sly Rivers. Let me mute this. Okay, there we go. And we are live at the studios in Glendale. Last week we had Mukunga Akinyela. He was talking about mental health and how the Eurocentric society puts all Black folks in a state. But anyway, our theme coming up from here until I don't know when is going to be strategies on how we win. And of course, those strategies on how we win, also we have to know who our enemies are, what we're dealing with. And so today we're going to be speaking about music. Music has always been a detrimental, it could be uplifting or it could be detrimental. Of course, when it becomes uplifting, then they co-opt it and they decide to, they control it. It starts way back in the day with the jazz musicians being, they're getting no money for their stuff, not getting paid. And so again, if you missed it at the beginning, we have in the studio Ife Jai.
What's going on?
Dion, what's your last name?
My last name is Bailey.
And you?
B-A-I-L-Y.
Bailey, and you're an artist also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell what type of art do you do?
I'm a spoken word artist and I'm an author as well. I write urban novels. So yes.
Nice. So we're gonna have a little dialogue here about music and strategies on how using music on how we win.
Yeah.
Because it's been used against us, but how can we use stuff for us,
Yeah.
And we might remember back when we started, Ife, we were doing live stuff, so we might break that out again too.
Live from Studio B, I think it's on
I don't know what studio. Well, does this studio have a name? Well, I don't know.
No, does it?
Oh man,
Exactly
see,
not.
back when we was on
We just
Cahuenga,
have to rename it. So
I know, but yeah, let's rename the studio.
And if you are listening to us, you can definitely check us out online, right? Can't they go to 90.7?
Oh yeah, we're streaming live.
.org?
Yeah, actually we're streaming live on Cut to the Chase.
Cut to the Chase on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. So you could see us, and you could go to the YouTube channel and listen to this later. But let's dive into this. Our theme has been strategies on how we win, and I'm really tired. I mean, we always hear people talking about the problem, this and that, but nobody's talking about the solutions.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I said, okay, how can we win? So if we're looking at music,
Yeah.
I feel that music was a threat.
It is, no doubt.
Because we had the brother from Chicago, and he actually he did some studies on talking about how the direct relationship between violence and what was being played on the radio
Right.
coincided.
Right.
You recall
I
that?
do remember that guy. He made note of how many times death and murder and ops and language like that was used in rap music at a certain, time period, and it correlated to an increase in murder, And so let's reel this kind of conversation back 2 seconds. Music is magic. Let's start there. Music is magic. Music is a way to connect to something greater than ourselves, right? Spiritually, energetically, however you want to call it. Music is a conduit, if you will, that allows you to transport yourself. It allows you to go into spaces of imagination. It allows you to express certain emotions, but it connects you to something bigger. I think if we can all agree to that, then that would anchor the conversation a lot differently, right? So if we accept that music is magic, then there becomes a moment where when you use the magic, what ends up happening? So everybody's on a frenzy about this Sinners movie. Y'all love the movie? Have y'all seen the movie?
I saw the movie.
Okay,
We actually had
be a whole nother episode.
We had a program on it.
Okay, I'm gonna say, I know that
sister.
gets everybody going and the
Yeah.
conversations are rich. What I want to pull from that though is this moment of when the artist in the movie sings for the first time, and he basically uses this magic, and you see how it translates to the audience. People are dancing and they're in the vibe, and it's the, everything is going into the vibration. And then as soon as we recognize how powerful this magic is, who comes knocking on the door? The vampires, the people who want to take, the bloodsuckers. You feel me? So with this music magic, it's always been a part of us as African people, as indigenous people to this planet. We have always used music magic, right? And we've used it for a variety of pieces in our lives and our lifestyles, music marriage, music birth, you always see music in every part of our
And
culture.
bouncing off of that, if you look at the capoeira, the art of capoeira,
That's right.
capoeira is a dance. I'm sorry, it's a martial art hidden in the dance.
Right.
And when you have to have the music going or you stop. But I want to really, what you said was so key, how you said music is magical. And I think the powers that be who want to control our minds
There you go.
understand that.
That's
So,
right.
by the way, we're going to open the phones if you want to call in and join this conversation. The number is 818-985-5735. Yeah, 818-985-5735. Hit option 1 to listen to us. But let's go back a little bit. These artists that were murdered, because since it is magic, since it moves people, you have to be aware. So my theory, and a lot of people said it's not even a theory, it's a fact, that people such as John Lennon,
Okay.
the Beatles being probably the biggest back at the time group
Okay.
in existence, and he started talking about change and social change, and all we are saying is give peace a chance.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
You know Nipsey Hussle.
Clearly
He
assassinated.
clearly
Yeah.
started bringing
That's
factions
true.
together
That's true.
and buying up and becoming economically stable.
Yeah.
Assassinated. Bob Marley,
Yeah.
who brought CIA August, we call him CIA August, Siaga,
Yeah.
Edward Siaga, and Michael Manley together.
Yeah. Very
Killed.
powerful moment.
Now,
Political moment.
there's no concrete proof, but it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
For sure.
So, but our thing then is, as our theme is strategies to win, how do we transfer this music into a winning strategy? For instance, when Marvin Gaye was going to do the album, What's Going On?
Yeah.
Barry Gordon, you can't do that. Don't do that. This social stuff. So they want to dumb it down.
Yeah.
That won't sell. And I'll let you say,
Yeah.
lay this out.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So they and Marvin Gaye said, no, I need to do music because it's all about monetary fund. So he did What's Going On, and guess what happened?
It blew.
The biggest ever.
Yeah. Because people want that. I think they may not have a platform to communicate it, but it's almost like that scene in the Malcolm X movie when Elijah Muhammad is talking to Malcolm X about the cool water. And he was like, if you offer people this clean glass of water, will they take that? Of course they will, as compared to the glass of water that was murky and brown. Do y'all remember that scene?
Mm.
And Elijah Muhammad is telling Malcolm, like, look, you don't have to talk about this brown. Just offer them something that's clean and something that's good. And so that's where the responsibility is then from the artist, because you said, how do we get to a place where music becomes an asset to us and a tool in our liberation? Because that's really what it is, right? What does Bell Hooks say? You can't use the master's tool to dismantle the master's house or something to that nature, right? But the point is that music is our tool. And we could definitely use it to dismantle systems of oppression, but artists have to know that, and artists have to hold that line, There are some artists that compromise that.
Totally.
That are not interested in anything but a bag
let's
and
cut to the
fame
chase. Let us cut to the chase, because we know back in the day, before the onslaught of social media and the internet, the record companies decided who was going to be out there.
They did. They did.
And they decided who was not going to be out there.
That's correct.
And so what they did was, there's a brother by the name of, we interviewed him too, Keaty. His research showed that they would not allow people with progressive movements or progressive thoughts to be recorded.
No,
You
not at
have to
all.
say, be this, in
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
F this.
right.
And if you listen, it's the same thing going on.
And even within that, it's levels because me and you got into a little bit of a conversation. We can get to finish it. But even within the B's and the H's and the things that was projected in our music, there still was a little piece of revolutionary sentiment. Because if you think about gangster rap, what was one of the biggest gangster rap albums that NBA or the gangster rap records that NBA produced? What was one of
The NWA, F the Police.
F the Police? Now, if that ain't revolutionary, I don't know what is. And so when we talk about the B's
that's
and
at the
the
beginning,
H's,
though, correct?
Right. That was
well,
the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
But then it has a purpose. But now it's just like, just
Yeah.
no
That
doubt,
message, they had a statement.
no doubt,
because
no,
it used to use the N word, but it was a different context.
Right.
yeah, it was
So-
a different piece. It was a different piece. So gangster rap, we have to give that conversation its just due. I don't think it's fair for us to just, blanketly say that gangster rap was completely just destructive. There's a level of gangster rap that was profoundly revolutionary and against the system. Now, does it stay that way? No. Many of us can argue, even in 1992, when we had the LA riots, that you see a drastic fear within the music industry of, oh my God, these rappers, these gangster rappers in South Central Los Angeles who
Well,
have been saying F the police have now inspired a group of people in in the Crenshaw district and the South District to burn the streets down after Rodney King got, that Rodney King
You
burn.
know what you're saying has merit, but my only problem with it is
That's
this.
why I love Sly, because we got to go back and forth.
My only problem. First of all, who gave it the name gangster? All right. Second of all, what was done to us as people don't know. Y'all might not know this, but during the Ronald Reagan administration, they
Yeah.
actually went in and because they're trying to fight a war in El Salvador.
Yeah.
And the Congress said, "Oh, we can't fund it." So what they did was they went in and sold drugs
To the community. Yeah.
and weapons to Iran, and put the drugs in the community
For sure.
and created.
Right. They
Now the first
exacerbate
one,
poverty
the
in
first
community.
rap or hip hop was revolutionary, but that was co-opted. And
No
then
doubt.
who gave it the name gangster? What is a gangster? Some words are powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
So why you got to begin? And then if you look at what's going on in the Black community, divide and conquer, red, blue,
Yeah.
gangster.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was how they marketed it to us.
That's
And
true.
if it was something else, but we adopt this
Yeah.
and say, well, no, why didn't I call it something else? But then
Well,
I was also, no,
yeah.
I'll shut up after this and let you
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
I was talking to these young boys, and I said, all of them wanted to be rappers. No one wants to be a scientist. Everybody wants to be a rapper. I said,
Of course,
okay.
I
I
play
said, well,
basketball.
I said, you have conscious rap? And they said, that doesn't sell.
Yeah.
So they even
That's always
programmed
been the
this.
narrative.
Yes.
Yeah, that's always been the narrative of what they project out there to make people believe that there is no profitability in it. But we push back on that. Those of us who do what we do because we love to do it, even the levels of success that is determined for us. I don't know. I don't know how you feel, and maybe you could speak to this, but even defining what success looks like, that's a very personal thing. Success to me doesn't necessarily mean that my name is on the big billboard. Success to me is being able to do what I love and be recognized for it and, or just be able to be in community with like-minded people. That's success. I go to work every day. I'm not necessarily looking for rap music to make me rich, but at the same time, it gives me a privilege to just hold my line and not have to compromise. And that's a part of what I think a lot of artists are trying to do. They're trying to get out of this state of precarity, this state of lack and poverty. And
That's
what are the ways that we get out of that?
The sellouts.
Well, that's the whole G.
I mean,
when
the whole thing.
when you sacrifice your ability to get out of the box, it becomes a detriment to the culture. Because, like, say for instance, Sexy Red, right? I don't mean to go too crazy on her.
Right.
She does what she does. She does it well, right? But when she compromises, it ends up having a ripple effect, for other women now who want to blah, 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 right? But when somebody like Rhapsody doesn't compromise, then she also allows for the space for other women who don't necessarily twerk or look, like the standard whatever.
Hey,
to be able to
can you pull up some
some Rhapsody or something?
Yeah,
Well, Rhapsody just won an award with her and Erykah Badu for really positive
that doesn't have a lot of
Vibration.
cussing
It's
in
a
it?
really good song. I think it's a good song, you know. But the point I think now is that artists can have more confidence in saying, this is what I want to say. This is my expression of my voice in this culture. And I don't care if people support it on the mainstream. I don't care if people, whatever. I can release it on the Spotify. I can release it on the SoundCloud. I can release it on YouTube. I can find my own avenues to market myself. I don't know. How do you feel? Because you're an artist. You do spoken word. I'm assuming a lot that maybe your spoken word has a
Message.
message to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course,
Okay.
that's why I wouldn't say I would that I can't rap, or I don't like the music that's being put out. I love music in just general, right? But my thing is that music does have to have a message, right? We sometimes we can use myth the wrong way. Myth is could use to be change things, right? And music is where we can use that myth, that imagination, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so many times, like you just said, success could look different to
Yeah.
many people. For me, my message is, hey, I realize that capitalism is messing us up. I wouldn't want to sell out to that, so I would put out a message. That looks like success to me. Now,
Right.
I understand that people want to get the bag, and you know what I'm saying, you gotta do what you gotta do. But for me,
No, you don't. Go ahead.
right, you right, no, you're right, you're totally right. So yeah, that's how I look at success. Success is through my spoken words, getting the message out about what's going on and putting y'all on.
Yeah.
818-985-5735. We want to go to the calls after this song. I want what I did. This is a song I did called "I'm So Happy My Hair Is Nappy." I did this because that's the one you did. Because we've been so programmed, psychological warfare. When I say we, I'm speaking specifically of people of melanated hue and specifically of people of African descent who have curly hair.
Mm.
And so this song was trying to show a different aspect of that. So, Will, when you get a chance, hit "I'm So Happy Because My Hair
It's nappy.
Is Nappy."
The T-shirt of that when I was a little kid.
Hip Hop Parade, nappy. Here we go. And I might cut in, so you can leave the mic on. Yeah, I might cut in, so leave the mic on. Yeah. So it's a little upbeat, but check it out. When we play this live, people,
When you gonna do another porch side? Oh.
now, if you're in the Black community, you know what that means because we have to press our hair, curl our hair, conk our hair. Don't- Check this out. You can leave it up under us. So basically, that that was because if you go out in the world today, most Black women don't have natural hair. Why is that?
They don't. Because, first off, let me say this. As a Black woman and the only Black woman in this space, I do think that there is something to be said about the history of hair, and we don't always get into that. Now, I know that the Black nationalist community had a huge cultural movement trying to push back on Western aesthetics of European beauty. I get that. But there's also a moment where Egyptians wore wigs. People wore wigs. This is something that's not unfamiliar to Black culture for us to manipulate our hair.
That's true.
Okay.
But
So dyeing it. There's Maasai women that put
What?
red dye in their hair
What?
right now. So I just want to say, as the only Black woman
You have
here,
to put it in historical
we've always
context.
done stuff to our hair,
You have to
guys.
put it in historical context. Let's see
No,
what.
the problem is that when we don't think that African aesthetics are beautiful and we think that European aesthetics are the standard of
Thank
beauty,
you.
that is the problem, not the manipulation
Thank
of
you.
the hair itself.
Thank
But if
you.
you feel like you're not cute unless you have the straight hair or the blue eyes, you
Yeah,
know, the
I worked
whatever,
at
the
this
blonde
station
hair,
in North
you know, that's the
Carolina,
problem.
WVSP, and I remember a young girl, so I would be caught dead with my hair straight. In other words, the standard of
It's the
beauty.
standard, yeah.
Marlene's on line, I don't know what-
One.
she's on line one. Welcome to Cut to the Chase, Marlene. Going once, going twice, going. Marlene's from Valley Village.
Valley Village.
I guess she was waiting. So if you call in, just wait on the line. We're gonna get to you. 818-985-5735. Is that Jeannie from line 2? What you got to say?
What's going on, friend?
I know, I know, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Rest in peace. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we out here. Good to hear from you, man. Good to hear from you. I know we had a nice little vibe, man. Y'all making me miss my days with Sly. I don't like getting up this early no more, but you know, I did today.
Look, they had me. You had a late night, but that was nice.
Yeah, I'm a night owl. But yeah, no, I love this conversation because I think it's necessary for us to start holding artists accountable. I think that's where Slide, you're kind of going in that direction of how do we use this to get
Yes,
somewhere.
and now
part
since
of it
we-
is holding these artists accountable.
And
I
since
think
we-
we're there.
And we don't have to be dependent on record companies.
No, we don't.
Because
No, we don't.
now there's
No, we don't.
social media.
That's
And
right.
so we should start laying out things that are common. What time is it? Yeah, I guess we'll do a quick station break here. This is KPFK Los Angeles.
Yeah, 9.7
My
FM.
name is Sly Rivers, aka Sylvester, and we have some wonderful guests in here. Do you have any spoken word stuff?
I do.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we'll
let's
split that.
stick first.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because that spoken word is the
You want,
cornerstone
you
of
want to
what
share something with
the culture really is about. It's about the word and the music. It's the combination of that. It's the recipe of that makes it so powerful. So yeah, let's get into
And
the
818-985-5735, hit option 1 and just stay on hold. We will get to you. Okay, this is Dion. What you got for us?
All right, yeah, I got this one spoken word that I wrote back in, I think, 2017. Here we go. The zombies come out at night. I find myself scratching the ceiling of my brain, trying to catch a flight. Just a Negro trying to figure out what's wrong and what's right. Don't know if I should listen to the Israelites or Brother Polite. I also studied 5% while getting bent. I sing to zombies. The darkness seemed to jump me. Faith lacked, and I didn't know how to grab it back. Stuck in the ways of getting lit. I should have been in somebody's pulpit, but I was out with the zombies. Every morning I would face the book, but the book barely speaks any truth. I would face the L, but no losses. I try to walk like y'all. I don't believe in wearing crosses. I want to create my own platform. I want to be great in this swarm, but from time to time I have a relapse and Willie Lynch my mind. And that liquor makes me feel fine, so I keep thinking, and it only brings more demons. I hope I'm forgiven for acting like a heathen. Inshallah, alhamdulillah. I'm divorcing long hours at the bar. Truth is realizing your own scars, so I face myself. I can't even talk to some of my family members anymore. They think I need help. They heard I was listening to Farrakhan and they crucified me like they did Mary's son.
Hey, snap, 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 snap. Alhamdulillah. Getting my hours from the bar. I don't know what that was. That was a bar. That was a bar. That was a bar. I like it a lot.
I'm gonna step in this because you know I cannot twist it. I'm going, but we cannot twist. Patrice from Gardena on line
I love it.
1. Patrice, how are you?
Hey, girl, hey.
Welcome.
That's right.
Yes, yes, yes.
And you got into hair, you got into my territory there. But when you were discussing the movie Sinners, I absolutely loved as well. And I loved, that they had the sister with her natural hair.
Yeah, they did.
They had a lot of symbolism in there.
Oh my God.
You can go back on the archives. We did do a show on that with the sister who was a film critic, a black
Oh, I love
was a
that.
film critic.
I
Go
love
ahead.
that.
Go ahead, Patrice. Well, you know what, Patrice, hold that thought because I was talking to Ife a little earlier about when she was talking about the hip hop culture. They used to go into the 99-cent store and purchase. Was that off?
Oh, the t-shirts. Yeah.
T-shirts. I said that was a great opportunity for that community and for us to come together as a co-op and control, because the strategy to win is to control what we consume, to control it.
Yeah.
So, Patrice, what you're saying, you being in the industry, okay, why don't we start it? Why don't you start it? And then you have to look at KPFK. There's a gentleman by the name of Richard Wolf who talks about worker-owned businesses and co-ops.
She said, but I don't want to say. But you know what though? There's a
That has to be
woman.
done too, though.
Yeah.
All that is a part of it. All that is a part of it.
She's
All
that
that is a part
clown.
of it.
Hell. It's a both and. I don't think it's a either
Thank you.
or. I think
Exactly.
it's a both and. Shouts out to Baba Wakesa and Mama Fia for teaching me that. But there's a moment
What?
where, yeah, because a lot of times we always think in these either ors.
Exactly.
We kind of gotta open ourselves up to possibilities. But there is a woman. I respect that, sis. There is a woman in. I want to say she might be in West Africa, but she's literally taking like a corn husk or like a bamboo type material. Have you seen that? And she's, processing it to make it a little more of a natural product of fiber that women are putting into their hair. So I'm with you in terms of us, like the perms back in the day. You remember when it came out just recently that the perms were driving us crazy, Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's not true.
Because
Jewish women do not wear their hair out. Jewish women do not wear their hair. I said that I hear you, and there are other cultures that cover their hair. There are Jewish women wear wigs a lot. If you ever go into the Jewish community, you will see a adult Jewish woman, and she will literally have a clear wig on. And I know sis got hair underneath that wig. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I ain't gonna argue on that, okay? Yeah, I ain't gonna argue on that.
well, you know what? The strategies to win, which is our theme, also looks at how we have been assimilated into believing that you're the best, the beauty is long flowing hair.
Right.
And
Right.
sisters, your hair is too, why don't you let it grow out? When you go to the continent, a lot of sisters have beautiful short hair.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The
But-
aesthetic is different. It
Yeah,
looks
but
totally
see,
different.
so why, so yeah, and then so what you were talking about, I think, is different than today. Because the standard of beauty is, oh, you're too dark,
Mm.
your hair is too short,
Yeah,
and it's kinky.
yeah.
So what happened in Burkina Faso, guess what they did? They outlawed.
The skin bleaching, what?
They banned fake hair because
Okay.
he realized
This is Ibrahim
that
Toure.
cultural imperialism
Yeah,
is attacking and making
no
those
doubt.
young girls
No doubt.
think
No
think
doubt. Yeah,
that this is their beauty.
yeah.
And they said, no, the war is now.
Mm.
Well, right on, right on.
818-985-5735. And
We appreciate you calling in, sis. Thank you for
yeah.
your commentary.
And in the reggae community back in the day, there was locks, and people
Mhm.
didn't like
Yeah.
locks. But then when you look in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, you see what seems to be locks and
Yes,
dreads.
yes.
And then
And weeds.
Europeans started doing it. I have no problem with Europeans having
Yeah.
it's harder to do with straighter hair.
Yeah, everybody's hair can
818-985-5735.
rough up,
But yeah, but it was okay. So I think we have to understand why we do what we do. It's not because you just do it. It's just like in hip hop.
Right.
Why did we start dumbing down the music?
And we left off with this level of like accountability. There is a moment where the record industry does come in and definitely impacts hip hop music. It's been documented. Everybody can now look and see that clear moment where people start recognizing, oh my God, this is going to make millions and billions of dollars. And when they saw the
Money.
when they saw the economic potential, because you got all these white kids consuming Black culture on like some voyeurism type stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in the hood, but if I turn on this song, it makes me feel like I'm in, the driver's seat getting a first class experience of what the hood is like. And that makes me feel cool. And that makes me feel, so it's this gross consumerism of folks that don't necessarily look like us that's driving the directive of the industry.
Sure.
Yeah. This is what these young kids want to listen to, blah, blah, blah. But we're past that. We're at a point now where as hip hop artists or people who are artists, we can hold each other accountable.
Yes.
And my biggest thing is not to necessarily curtail somebody's art, but to now say that there's room for variety. So while there is a Sexy Red, there should be room for a Rhapsody. While there is, a Lotto, there should be room for someone like a Cyrock. You know what I mean? It needs to have more variety. But if we are only consuming the Megan Thee Stallions with the long hair, we only are looking at the Nicki Minaj's with the weaves and the things, then of course that narrative of what's beautiful and what's, that continues to get the light. And that's the problem. That is the problem. We need young Black boys and girls, women of color, but men of color to be able to see the spectrum of who we are. And you do a lot with diasporic work, which I really love, Sly, because that whole Haitian Revolution thing and the Black women that contributed to the Haitian Revolution, I thought was just brilliant. I sometimes talk about it in my class, but there's a moment where we have to look at ourselves as a global people.
Hello.
Is there Black people that naturally have blonde hair? Yes, it is. They live in Australia. Okay. Are their eyes blue naturally? Yes, they are. You see what I'm saying? So thinking of ourselves as global people also expands our variety of how we want to show up. One of my favorite things right now is TikTok. They have these dances that are Ethiopian dances. These dances that the Ethiopians do, like these traditional dances. And now you got these people in America mimicking these dances, right? Because there's a moment where we can relate to it. We are a diasporic community. And so you talk about the culture, let's get out of this Western box that's been built by these American essentialists that don't want to give room for nothing else. You know what I mean? Like, we have to dismantle this.
We've been colonized.
Yes, we got to decolonize our brains. Like, this is not all what it looks like to be an African person, indigenous person, whatever it is in this earth. And it's a lot more expansive than you realize. And even within the music, music is not just for entertainment. Music is for ritual. Music has a value. Music has a purpose. Some of us acknowledge that, you know what I mean? And we live in that space versus I'm just trying to make a bag. I'm just trying to get some money. I just want to, be successful by any means necessary. And I'm going to
Music is like
destroy other people on my journey to get there. You know, that's dead. That's
like a
dead.
new crack in the community, you know. You don't know how much damage you're doing to the community. You're just trying to put out the work, you know, to get your bag.
Yeah, I like
New
that.
crack
New
in-
crack in the community.
So,
Yeah.
I want to go back to what you said, Ife, and I want to deal with this just a little bit. You talked about the global reality. So right now, there's wars around the globe. The main culprit is United States. Did I-
Say it ain't so.
of America could kill.
You
But-
slid that in. You slid on that. That's nice.
So all of this to me is connected.
No doubt.
All these wars are connected,
No
not
doubt.
only there, but here
For sure.
in our communities, on our media. I mean, there's battles right now, you know, CBS and it's doing, they're in cahoots with this narrative that they're pushing out to control our minds. Okay, you have and the lies. So you have the murder of Gaddafi
Yeah.
back in I think 2013 or 2014. The murder of Gaddafi, who was what? Talking to Minister Louis Farrakhan about helping Black folks. You're not allowed to do that, they say.
Right.
You can't, you know,
That's part of what I
can't
got
take
my
money
good-
from foreign
yeah.
entities. At the same time, Israel is putting all this money into the politicians, Black ones.
Yeah.
Most all of them are bought and sold. Hakeem Jeffries, you sellout. You a sellout.
Remember when your girl, you played that clip of was it Cynthia McKinney?
Cynthia McKinney.
And she was
She
talking about
told
that.
the
She
truth.
called it out
Look,
years
we-
ago.
when-
Yeah.
When we got elected, they brought us into the office and they
Yeah.
said, look, you have to sign this pledge to support Israel. And if you don't,
Right.
we will
Yeah.
not give you funds for your reelection. And of course, we know what happened in the last election when the AIPAC, which is the Israeli puppet or puppeteer of our Congress people, pushed a couple of Congress people out, Corey Bush and Jamal, I'm trying to think of his name, I forgot. But they put millions of dollars in to make sure that progressive, radical candidates were in there. So my thing is that you know, a lot of people say, I don't want to hear about that. That's way over there. I don't want to.
Well,
But
that's
it's
ridiculous.
all
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah.
For every benefit we have in America, somebody's suffering somewhere else. Would you cue up Revolution? I want to play that. And it's sad we don't get it.
For sure.
Pan-Africanism is, then you have some of these, that's why I didn't want that one group you mentioned on, because they are, it's us, to forget those Haitians, you know, forget, man, that's your cousin.
Yeah.
They got dropped off first,
Yeah.
and then they sold them to here,
No doubt.
just
No
a different
doubt.
language.
And let me say this before we get into the song in terms of that. Hip hop is a diasporic expression. Hip hop is not just built in the backyards of the Bronx. There is a diasporic lens that ends up building hip hop culture. You got the Caribbean influence, Kool Herc. What's my guy's name? It's missing me right this second, but you have a lot of Jamaican, you have a lot of Haitian, you have a lot of Caribbean influence, African influence
It
in the
starts
music,
from
quite literally the
inside.
people that made it, you know?
starts with
Right,
the beat.
that beat.
Let's do
That
that beat.
beat.
Let's do
Let's
that
do
beat.
that
Let's
beat.
do that beat.
Okay,
Let's do that
let's
beat.
get into it.
And then you
Let's get into it.
we'll go from there.
Okay, this is an exclusive. This is an exclusive. No, I'm just playing. Y'all, we finna do a little freestyle real quick. This Ife Jai on the mic. We got Sly on the drum on the guitar. Okay, the world is mine, and yo, I didn't know it. Trying to get myself together before I could blow it. Bet 100 that I said before I even roll it. Never a chance that I wouldn't hit, so don't you hold it. It's stacks. Building books by the racks. Every time I say what's on my mind, he be like, facts. Yeah, never thought I'd come again. Play the game better than some and I plays to win. Vanessa White take flight to the bottom of it. Taking off every cloth till we own to something. I close my eyes, I better know I go in. Little mama kinda deadly with a paper and pen. Keep it going, yeah, it's flowing, yeah, the verse never end. Wanna feel momentum changing? Go tell a friend, I bet you never ever. Did you ever think it could be futuristic at the same time? Be as hood. Yeah, Make my mistake. Every time I dine alone, I'm eating off of 3 plates. One for me, one for them too. Tell me that ain't you. Yeah, you know how we do. Come on. I close my eyes and then this song for real. Little mama about that business. If looks could kill, be a problem every time I probably cop a feel. That fire burns, so you know the drill. Come on. Say, hey, I keep going.
I know, I
I
said,
keep
we got
going.
till like 9:30.
And here's the point. The point is that if you choose as an artist to use your platform for something positive, then the universe will respond to you. You still will find success. We have to debunk that. Conscious music don't sell. We got to debunk that. That is not true. That is not real.
This is a
That is not
revolution. We
yeah.
are in a revolution. Could you play revolution? We are in a revolution. I did this a little slower and doesn't have that beat that you have. But I think it's interesting because I wanted to express, well, let's play for it. Go ahead. So yeah, keep the mic on. This is the beginning. So the song is called, you guessed it,
Revolution.
And because sometimes we can't run from things, we have to accept them and what they are. We are in a revolution, and a lot of
For
people
sure.
don't know it. So I wrote this in order to express different aspects of the revolution we're in. Yeah. Yeah, it's a revolution. Yeah, it's gonna be a revolution. Okay, here come the lyrics. Say times are changing, can't you see? No more time for complicity or revolution. They always try to divide and conquer we. Now it's time for unity. Revolution. No more time to fear. That's Abdul Latif on bass.
All right.
Nia Stevens on vocals. We had Manny on drums.
Nice.
Who am I missing?
That's you on
What
guitar.
main guitar vocal?
It's cold guitar, man.
That's a cool guitar. Slimy Jimmy.
Yeah.
He be on this Slice Stone sometime. That's his alias. Rest in peace, Slice Stone.
No.
Too.
So we going. So
I like the vibes. When you gonna do another port side, Sly? Is my mic on?
on
I
the
think I
first,
right.
on the
Okay.
first
On the first.
chance we get.
Okay. We love it.
So I
It's-
did that
it's-
to show that people, there's all types of revolution.
That's right. That's right. I love that.
Strategies to win is to understand where you fit into that.
Right.
And if you're a musician, no, stop. Create things that are powerful. Create things that are real. 818-985-5733. We have some calls on that. So create those stories.
Yeah.
Tell stories.
Yeah.
And we also have to educate ourselves. In order to win, we have to educate ourselves because we have not learned critical thinking.
Yeah. Read a book.
Speak on-
Read a book.
What?
Read a book. Read a book. Read a
Oh,
book.
here we go. I'm sorry.
No, that's real. And you know what? I think it's time. I think we need it. I think we are craving it as a culture, as a community. I think that's why we love that movie so much, the Sinners movie, because I think a lot of us felt seen energetically. We didn't necessarily have the language to say certain things, but we felt it. You know what I'm saying? But I think with all of what's going on right now, many of us have to make a decision. What side of history are you
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
be
on?
thank you.
Ooh, what you
Thank
say? You
you.
know what? We got on the
Period.
line a friend of mine, and they also
Oh, Tiny Red, what up, Red?
Tiny Red on line took one.
What's
Good
going on,
morning.
brethren?
So, some people need music. We need music that says something.
Right on.
And we have had that, we went by that, and it seemed to be cut off.
Not by happenstance.
Right. By
By
on
just-
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, and control, and that they wanna make that money, yes, they control back then, how to profit off it, which is the story of this country. And then how the sister said in the Malcolm X movie, the over the water, such a perfect analogy.
Right on.
They don't know real hip hop. It's just that dirt that's played on radio, and I hear that same dirt coming out of cars at the red light or passing by, and they just don't know that what's out there. There's an alternative out there.
Yeah.
They need to hear it, and that's how we fight back.
There you go.
That's your strategy to win. Is that what you're saying? Yes. Yes.
But we have to play that. Those that are looking, we have to play that at job training. We have to play that in colleges. We have to play that at UNV.
Yeah, you gotta make it popular. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's on us. It's on us.
Sure.
We
Well
have
said,
to
Randy.
sever ourselves from the dependency, control
Yeah.
everything, our
Yeah.
clothing,
Our hair, our
everything.
clothing, our housing, our food.
And
Yeah.
thanks for the caller who said it was Jamal Bowman and Corey Bush who were pushed out of their elected seats because they were speaking truth, anti-genocide, against Palestine. Of course, I really couldn't support, or I was upset with everybody wanted. What's her name? Kamala.
Yeah.
Who was it? Anyway, I shouldn't.
It's over, Sly. It's over.
No, it's not over. It's still
Oh.
going on. It's not over.
Oh, the
It's
Kamala,
on.
the Kamala.
Well, see, that's just an aspect of it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, let's put this up to make you think.
Yeah.
It's like Malcolm said, coffee, when the coffee is black, is strong, but you put cream in it to
Yeah.
weaken it.
To weaken it down.
So that's what that is. The Corey Bushes, I'm sorry, not the Corey Bushes, the Jamal, what's the guy that my mind's going.
It's okay.
The minority leader in the Congress,
Okay.
Jeffrey, what's his name?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
follow that. I got other things to do. I'm reading and minding my business. Shout out
Hakeem
to
Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah.
Jeffries.
Shouts out to Queen Bee. She says, thanks for the lightning, spiritual, and mind-blowing show. And this is what we do regularly at 90.7 FM KPFK. So I appreciate you listening.
I want every Friday we're on at 8 a.m. We're also streaming live at Cut to the Chase on YouTube. Cut to the Chase. And so we want to build, we want to win. So what we're dealing with is strategies. I'm not talking about no BS strategies. I'm talking about real strategies. So if you're musicians out there,
Yeah.
okay, call these stations who ain't playing nothing.
Yeah.
Say, look, could y'all play something that enlightens me? Call the radio stations. But right now, most things are on the internet. Radio songs.
And that's the thing. It's like you can call the radio station, you can demand and definitely hold that line. There is an opportunity there to get that artist that should be on that mainstream platform, the opportunity to be on that mainstream platform, but you don't have to settle there.
Right.
You can find the YouTube channel of the artist that you like. You can find the Instagram or the TikTok of the artist that you want to support. You can definitely get it. You don't have to rely on the major platforms. And that's the whole point, I think, of what you were saying earlier in terms of social media. Now there's no excuse. If you are doing destructive music,
You
it's
choose.
because you're choosing to do that.
What'd you say?
You're choosing to do that. Now you have your reasons, and what they say, we gonna listen and not judge. That's your business. That's your business. There's consequences to that, to you and to the people that are listening. But at the end of the day, it becomes, now you doing this because you want to do that. You doing this because you want to do that. So I want to just continue to encourage artists, continue to encourage creatives as much as possible. Be bold in what it is that you're doing. Don't feel like you have to compromise to be successful.
Ooh-wee. So, as we wrap up, I'm going to ask both of you a question.
You better do it in 1 minute. Our engineer telling me.
We bad. What is your strategy to win? 30 seconds.
Street Sankofa, take this music back.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
You made it very succinct.
Street Sankofa.
Strategy to win, what's yours?
Staying revolutionary.
Okay, you've been listening to Cut to the Chase. My name is Sylvester Rivers, our guest today. Yes, it was the Ife
I love y'all.
and Dion Bailey, been live here in the studio. We're here every Friday at 8 a.m. You can go and hear this for, 3 months on the internet, or you can go to YouTube, Cut to the Chase.
Hey,
We out.
We out here.
Peace. I've had it.
That's the Rhapsody song. That's what I said. Yeah, that's the
Yup, I
vibe.
like it. Came on perfect time.
How do I stop it?
I don't know. I think you might have to go back to your Zoom
Can you not
and
pause
stop it on the Zoom.
or refresh? What if you refresh?
Yeah. Oh, baby, so much fun. Good stuff, Sly. Thanks for having me, man. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Good to be back. All right, love y'all. Thank y'all for jumping in my IG.